Hey guys, what's good? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another video. In this video, I want to talk about the 4 levels of action. All right, this is an excerpt from the 10X rule, and some of the principles that Grant Cardone talks about in this book is so key, so vital, because I've actually put these things into action, and I've experienced these levels of action, and it's so true that the 4th level of action, taking massive levels of action, is the only way where you will be 100% completely satisfied. Let me explain. So there's 4 degrees of action. The first one is doing nothing. You're sitting on a couch, you're doing nothing. And the way you kind of figure out if you're in this situation is if you're bored a lot. Okay, if you're always bored, you're in the number 1. You're doing nothing. Okay. Number 2 is the person that actually starts something and retreats. And starts, retreats, starts, retreats, starts, retreats. This person always has an excuse for everything, right? And the 3rd level of action is the most dangerous. It's the one where you actually are doing something, but you feel comfortable. This is like the middle class, right? Actually, number 3 and number 2 kind of overlap, because I actually fell into this a couple years back where I felt comfortable, but I had so many excuses for why I wasn't accomplishing the things that I've set out when I was younger, you know, in my early days. So it's you almost quit on your dreams when you're in between that number 3 level of action, which is just, you're doing just enough. And number 2, you're kind of retreating. It's almost like you're doing enough, so that gives you the excuse to tell people, yeah, my life is busy. Yeah, I got kids, and yeah, we're going on vacation, and that's an excuse for why you're not accomplishing your dreams. You're not fulfilling your purpose. My daughter right now, she this is for another video also but she has this huge passion. She loves dogs, and I always talk to her about, I was building a business, right? So she wants to build this little doggy business, dog store, doggy apparel, and all that stuff. And she's been dreaming. She write out the blueprints and stuff like that. It's my purpose to make sure she doesn't quit on her dreams when she gets older and makes an excuse on, yeah, I can't fulfill that and whatnot because I'm busy and I'm going this and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. No, if you're in that 3rd spot and the 2nd spot where you make excuses, you find yourself making excuses for not continuously like driving towards something that you need to achieve, you quit on your dreams. And you're in that number 3 spot. You're in the middle class. You're comfy. You're lying to yourself. You're like that number 3, number 2. You're making excuses on, you just haven't. So you have so many excuses, and Stephen Pressfield actually talks about this in the book. What is it? I think The War of Art talks about the resistance. Is that the resistance will force you to make excuses, a million excuses. Oh, I'm going to this conference, and you actually have so many things outside of just doing the freaking work, right? So that's number 3. And then the number 4th level of action is taking massive levels of action. And when I heard this in the book, and you start applying, first of all, it was like a kick in the butt. I was like, oh yeah, he's calling me out, because I was in that 3rd spot. I was like making excuses, I'm comfy. And in the 4th one, taking massive levels of action means, and when you kind of like start applying this principle, like success is your actual duty, it's your moral obligation, and the only way to achieve success is to take massive levels of action. And when you do, and I started to implement this, and what happens is it's so many things happen around you. You start to feel energized, you start to feel this momentum building, and you start to get these little wins, like little wins, and people around you start to see that there's this glow about you. And it's like, when you start to recognize that, like consciously, like that zone, you know, like when you're out of that zone and when you're back in that zone, okay? And what happens is, knowing when you're in that zone, you accomplish so much in that zone of just taking massive levels of action. It's the way you get into that zone of taking massive levels of action is you have to, and I preach this all the time in my Instagram videos, you have to not ask people for permission to do something, right? You have to, Hank Norman, his hashtag is press record. You have to just press record. Just don't even think, do it. I say put your blinders on and do the things that you set out that you knew you wanted to do when you were a little kid, and do them. Those things that you said, you know, I wanted to do this, I wanted to be this, I wanted to be this. You have to do it. The only way you can do it is put your blinders on. Don't even look at what people are commenting on about you because they think you're an idiot for posting something. Put your blinders on, do it. You're guaranteed to have some sort of success from just doing that. The actual feeling of accomplishment, of achieving, of actually, you know what, nobody controls my destiny, I control it. So you have to get into that zone and put your blinders on, taking action, doing stuff, not asking for permission, and the momentum will build. And it's kind of like a drive. You got to keep the action, keep taking action, more doing, less talking about it. When you get there, you know, you start to, you will know and you will recognize when you're in that fourth zone, when you're taking massive levels of action, because you will be inching closer at achieving those things. And people around you be like, dude, you're on fire. And so you just have to continuously drive towards that fourth, taking massive levels of action. In my opinion, it is the only way to success. And why that is, because when you coast towards success, what happens is this little flame inside you, the flame that once was there when you were a little kid, like my daughter, who has this drive and this dream to do this big thing, it starts to dwindle down. And that flame that was once like a big, huge bonfire is now just a little simmer. You know, it's still there. You're doing okay. You're doing okay because everybody else around you is thinking, oh, you're doing okay. But it's not a big bonfire, all right? You're not on fire. People aren't looking at you like, dang, she's got something going on. You know, she's on fire. No, you got to get there, get back there. So if this sounds like you fall into that number 3 spot, you're casual, you're taking, you know, you're doing just enough to get by, and you're making excuses for why you're not striving towards what you once told yourself, you know where you need to be. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the little bell notification to get more videos like this in your inbox. And if you want to learn more about how to improve your UI, UX design, product design skills, visit my site, ML UX Academy. Click on the little information icon on this YouTube video. It takes you right there. You can get started learning for free today. Holla at you. Peace.